Uh, Good afternoon, friends. Uh, Today, 1st February 2023, the budget today put in by Sitaraman, last budget before election 2024, and people were expecting that it would be a populist budget, but it was not so. Uh, I'm going to discuss. I'm CA Nitin Pathak, Isaka chapter Ahmedabad. I'm past president. Uh, this PPT would be available on blog also, and PPT would be available on blog at cnitinpathakblogspot.in. Any feedback, any query regarding income tax, GST, you can just email. We will guide you. There will be detailed discussion on each qua section by section for CA community or tax fraternity community would be discussed on 8th, which are going to be San Hiren Pathak is going to talk on same on GST, indirect tax. He would be giving detailed explanation. Any query regarding recent amendment, you can just email on this number. We will guide you on the subject. With this, we are going to talk on today's subject called, I'm going to talk on mainly on income tax. Then I would be discussing how India is going to step up in the time to come. And this is how I'm going to talk on the budget. And according to me, this is a very meticulously prepared budget, as had been in the past. And this is growth oriented. And India's economy has grown very fast. According to me, people were expecting that India would be number one in 2024 to 2046. But according to me, it would go even faster than even we thought of it. The way development is going on, the way youth is want to work on it, the whole आ, आ, पूरी कायनात इंडिया को आगे लाने के लिए है. With this, my opinion on India and China and USA are competing with us. There are many other countries, Vietnam, Bangladesh, many more countries are competing with us, but we have some unique advantage. And let's wish that India grow up as fast as we thought of it. With this, I'm going to first I'll talk on some income tax provision. Then I would be talking some of the key aspects of the budget, which is being taken care by the Sitaraman. First, I will talk about income tax provision, which has been discussed by Sitaramanji. Okay. With this, I'm going ahead. Any question? In-depth analysis is I'm going to talk on 8th, not on 8th, not on 4th. Amrutkal budget, our vision is this. 7th, we are going to talk on Zoom by Hiren Pathak at 6:30 Tuesday. This is ID. In our blog, there would be a link which would be available. You can register. So this any query is most welcome. On 8th, we are going to talk on the same. On oral, I'll be talking each section by section for income tax only, not on GST, not on economy. I am a past president of Isaka chapter Ahmedabad. Economic survey, I'll put a slide on that. If time permit, I'll talk about economic survey later on, not on this talk. With this, I'm starting this talk. Sitaraman has made 5 major changes in the personal income tax. First thing is, first he says that there would be a change in the slabs. Change in the slab is like 0 to, there are old regime and new regime. 0 to 3, a new tax slab for new regime. 0 to 3, no tax. 3 to 6, 5%. 6 to 9, 10%. 9 to 12, 15%. 12 to 5, 15, 20%, and above 15, 30%. What's he saying? That the first one concerns the rebate. Currently, those with income tax up to 5 lakh do not have to pay tax both in new and old regime. I propose to increase. He proposed to increase the new regime to 7 lakh. Thus, person having 7 lakh in new regime does not have to pay any tax. The slabs have already taken on that, and this will provide a major relief to all projects in new regime with an individual income is 9 lakh. Now would be required to pay only 45,000. According to new regime, if your income is 9 lakh, you have to pay only 5% of your income. That is 45,000. Thus, there would be a reduction of 25% as in the old scheme. As in the old tax slab, you have to pay 60,000. Similarly, if you are having an income of 15 lakh, now there would be a reduction in tax pay by 20% from existing liability of 1,87,500. So this is a populous budget by which they have reduced the tax rate for new slabs. This new slab for new regime insurance. For old, there would be old scheme. This is the way they have formatted and given a few concessions, though not populous, but somehow she needs to do so something that they would reduce the rate. That is how they for salary class they have extended for salary, family pension, and for all these people they have introduced. They have given a standard benefit of rupees 52,500 for salary employee income above 15.5 lakhs. Thus, there would be a reduction in some tax for salary class people. And the fourth amendment, according to her, is she reduced the surcharge because of reduction in surcharge. Uh, there would be the previously the surcharge was 37%. Now surcharge is reduced to 25%. Because of that, there would be reduction in the gross tax, highest tax over 42.5%. Now this result into maximum rate of 39%. So there would be a reduction in the rate on highest tax paid employee because of reduction in surcharge. Lastly, the limit of rupees 3 lakh for tax for leave encashment. Previously, there was a leave encashment of 3 lakh for 10 months were available, but this was fixed in 2002. Now they will reduce the leave encashment limit to 25 lakh. Now we are also making the new interview as a default regime. Now everyone who has a business income cannot change the tax regime. Those other than business income can change the tax regime. Default regime, if you don't mention anything, default regime would be new regime. If you file a return in old regime, you have to continue. Only salary other than business class have an option each year, each year to choose it. But if you have a business income, you cannot change it. Once you go to new scheme, you cannot go to old scheme back. So because of that, some 1,000 rupees tax deduction, I'm not going to tax on that. Before going into the other things, let me conclude. Let me go the question answers which he has given. This new and old regime would be applied to individual HUF, AOP, BOI, and AJP. Okay. Once you have selected, which I already covered, 5-10% already said, residue totaling up to 5 lakh, do not residue which totaling up to 5 lakh, do not have to pay tax due to rebate under both an old regime. So now up to 5 lakh, you don't have to pay it in old and new, 7 lakh in case of new regime. Standard tax of 50,000 to an individual would be available, which was not available. The family pension 50,000 is currently only under the old regime. It is both the cases now allowed to this deduction. Suppose somebody is receiving a family pension under the old regime, you are not entitled for. They said that it will be allowable under both the cases. Surcharge we have already discussed here. Encashment I already discussed. Now they have made a change in the MSME provision. Suppose Reliance is a purchase a goods from MSME, say on 31st March 2023, and he doesn't make a payment before filing a due date of return, and so the Reliance will not be entitled for MSME payment. So what they're saying, if you don't make a payment to MSE, you are not entitled to include as a deduction under the purchase. Okay, Agnipath scheme, which is very few people. I don't go into that. In MSME, there are other scheme also. MSME, there is a presumption taxation on 2 crore. Now it has been increased to 3 crore. And for professor person, there was a 50 lakh. It been increased to 75 crore, 75 lakh. In both the cases, your receipt in cash should not be more than 5%. Otherwise, you will not be entitled for presumptive taxation. There is one more scheme which is introduced here for MSME is that because of COVID or for some reason there is a dispute between MSME and government or government and organized enterprise, in that case you would be entitled for arbitration or the settlement scheme. Those whose security deposit or something forfeited because of COVID, you could not make the payment. Now you will be entitled for making the payment under MSME. So they want to support MSME in this way. Sugar Cooperative Society were demanding that certain payments were not made before 1617, and because of that, Cooperative Society was not able to use these things. They've been given a special exemption for Sugar Cooperative Society. Sugar Cooperative Society can withdraw up to cash rupees 3 crore, for which no TDS will be done. The sugar lobby is so strong that they are able to take this advantage of this. 2 lakh. Generally, you can any payment made to anyone if it is more than this under section 26090, but there is an exemption if you make a payment, cash, loan, or transaction between primary cooperative society and a member, 2 lakh exemption would be there. And in the case of a startup, the condition of continuity of at least 51% of settling for settling of carried forward losses is relaxed to eligible start. All those at present relaxation is losses as a period up to 7 years. Now it has been increased to 10 years. Exchange startup date has been increased from 1st April to 1st April 2000. 1 year is extended for promoting the startup. Gold to, if you are converting your gold into e-gold or e-gold into this, you don't have to pay capital gain tax. Incentive for IFSC. IFSC means gift city or something. They have been extended from 31st March 2023 to 21st 2025. Develop it is proposed about extension of income arising to body of trust or service for state act, which is not applicable to strategic disinvestment. This is regarding IDBI strategic disinvestment. You will be continue to do that. The many new manufacturing cooperative society, there would be a 15% tax available to new company establish manufacturing activity. But now they say that it would be equally allowable to in case of even cooperative society. Ease of claiming deduction of every preliminary expenditure. I'm not going into that. Presumptive taxation 2 crore, which I've already covered in my discussion. Extends the scope deduction lower or nil rate is a proposed taxpayer to obtain a certificate of deduction at source or no if on which the tax rate would be under section 194 LAB by business trust. So one more provision to be followed. Widening in tier 1, it is proposed to extend deemed income accrual provision relating to sum of money exceeding 50,000 to from non-resident without a consideration to a not ordinary resident. So there is a provision that if you receive money exceeding rupees 50,000, you are liable for presumptive taxation under deemed income. This would be applicable to resident to non-resident. It is proposed to omit a provision of allow exemption of new agency set up in India solely collection. For district income by business trust, I am not going to TDS. It is proposed to withdraw the exemption of TDS currently available interest and payment to listed debentures. जो listed debenture को जो TDS नहीं काटना था, that has been withdrawn. With the business scheme non-resident is proposed to disallow carried forward several losses computed. It is with respect to presumption for non-resident is proposed to disallow carried forward or set of losses in case of presumptive income. Non-resident will not be allowed to use presumptive taxation. For online games, so I give you an example of people playing Dream India. So what is happening? You are playing a daily game or every game you are playing. So in that case, you are earning one day, you are losing another day, or you are earning continuously. But what they're saying at the end of the year, or when you withdraw some money from that, if that on that day of withdrawal at the end of the year, if there's income, there would be TDS would be applicable. So there won't be a TDS in between every time, because nowadays because of this Dream India, and there are many lottery games are available in that crossword puzzle. This would be available in this. There would be a TCS when anyone sending money above rupees 7 lakh to non-resident other than for education purpose, there would be a deduction of 20%. And in case of education loan, it would be 0.5%. Tax on capital gain can be avoided by investing proceeds of gain rupees 10 crore. There is a limitation which has been put. Pehle, there is no limit. Now it has put a limit of 10 crore in case of 54 exemption. The income of market is proposed to be short-term gain at applicable rate. ULIP, any insurance payment made by you beyond 5 lakh for insurance policy, if it any other than a ULIP policy, if it is above 5 lakh, up to 5 lakh, you would be getting an exemption. Above 5 lakh, whatever difference between amount paid by you and amount received will be liable for tax. So there would be people paying so much money on insurance would be reduced because that would be a tax planning which was done by them. So this is a plug made by them. It is proposed the amount of computing capital gain on joint development property to include the amount received through check as a consideration. So sometimes you are receiving some money from the development agreement. This would be made liable for tax, even though you receive in any other name, whatever name you say, you have to pay tax on that. With interest on borrowed capital acquiring improving property, subject to it can be claimed as deduction from income. It can also be included in the cost of acquisition improvement by reducing capital gain. It is proposed that cost of acquisition cost of improvement shall not include the amount of interest claimed early as a reduction. So when I buy a residential I buy a residential house and out of which the interest income is I have claimed as a reduction, then I cannot claim as an improvement and in expenditure also. You can get either of these two. There are certain as like India where right for which no has been paid acquisition transfer case. This is already covered. I got some right for which is in my intangible asset for which I don't made a payment. The consideration would be considered as nil. This is a clarificatory amendment. Interim board of settlement, I don't go into that expenditure. There are so many things they've covered. It is proposed minimum time period required to provide transfer pricing officer within the production document 10 days information from 30 days to 10 days. So when it comes to transfer pricing, the date of submission of document is reduced from 30 days to 10 days. It is provided appeal against the penalty order passed by Commissioner under certain acts. Before appeal, it is proposed to provide that the order is to the basic and any rectification order shall also be applicable before appeal of it. Further, it is proposed to enable filing of memorandum of cross objection. The cross objection is allowed also in case of a penalty proceeding. It is proposed amendment 132 of the Act dealing with search and seizure to allow authorized person officer to take assistance of specific domain expert like digital professional services like locksmith, carpenter during the course of it, also to add an accurate estimated of any during the form of during the search and seizure. The assessing of the authorized officer can take the expert advice, including carpenter, locksmith, etc., which is a clarificatory amendment. Section 170 of the Income Tax Incentive Provide is proposed to subsequently clarify the modify such returns shall be furnished and to whom the order of business reorganization applies to introduce these things, which is not applicable to 2 minutes. So I'm not going into discussion on that. It is proposed that an order of assessment may be passed within a period of 12 months from that of the relevant assessment year when the updated return is filed. It is proposed that in cases where such and under section 132, 132 has been made, the period of limitation pending assessment shall be extended to further 12 months. Generally, assessment is to be made in certain period. In case of search 132 or 132, it will be extended to 12 months from the date on which the assessment is pending. It is probably going to empower the central government to make modification to already notified scheme regarding e-verification, dispute resolution, advance ruling. They have got a power to make a notification. It is proposed that the time limit of furnishing a written register for the proposed to provide that in case where the search and information available on 15th of March and an additional period of 15 days shall be allowed for issues of notice. Suppose you got some information 15 March, you would be allowed for certain 15 days extra. It is proposed to verify that if there is any inaccuracy statement of financial submitted by a prescribed reporting financial institution due to false inaccuracy submitted by the account holder. It is proposed to provide a penalty for further if there is any inaccuracy in a statement of finance submitted by prescribed reporting financial due to false or inaccurate submitted by the account. submitted by the account order. Suppose I am the account owner and I've been submitted wrong information that the person who has financially submitted the wrong statement, they would be liable for penalty of rupees 5,000. It is proposed to amend 271C, 270 of the Act to provide penalty and prosecution in case of TDS related to transaction in kind. It is proposed in 271C, 270 of the Act to provide penalty and prosecution where the default in TDS related to transaction of in kind. Suppose I have not paid cash, but I've swept some of my asset, like swap the goods, swap the property, swap something. In that also, TDS would be applicable. It is proposed to amend the time period of filing appeal against the adjudication of the Benami Act within a period of 45 days of such order received. In addition, the affidavit of High Court is also proposed to be modified. In case of Benami transaction, this would be allowable. The restriction on interest, deductible interest payment to overseas associate members. TDS on payment of certain non-resident currently at the rate of 20, but the rate of treaty may be allowed. So whatever lesser than TDS and would be, the provision would be applicable. Okay. So I think I have covered most of the transaction core income tax because I'm going to take income tax later on. So I'm not going into much of the detail in this case. So I'm going directly into some of the discussion or some of the, this budget is really an encouraging budget. This is a focused budget. Uh, the government wants to inclusive budget, the budget and the whole economy so flow in such a way that it includes all regions of citizen, youth, women, farmer, OBC, ICB. This is they call this budget. They call it as the Amit Amrit Kal budget. This is a very good period of this thing, and economic growth is estimated to be around 7%. COVID has been handled very well, and it can be seen that COVID in India, as compared to other countries, India has suffered very less in COVID, though we suffered, but it's not as compared to other countries which have suffered very badly, not only qua economy, but even otherwise also. During COVID, they have given free food grain to 80 crore person in India for 28 months. G20 prosperity will be continue to be there forever. Would be started working on it, okay? And since 2014, they've said almost per capita income is double. Today, India in 9 years, we're coming from 10th to 5th. They want to make it number one. They try their best. And not only government has to do something, but we as a whole, we have to work on it. And if you look at EFO membership, it's been double to 27,000 crore. Digital transaction has been 7,400 crore. Digital transaction at 126 crore. This is fast. If you look at the way till today the growth has happened, there are six major growth they have defined. 11.7 crore house toilets have been made, which makes environment clean, safety for women, and there are n number of good things happen because of household toilet. LPG connection is in because of that. Uh, Environment issue is also resolved, and it's very comfortable for women to have a food preparation very easily. 220 crore COVID vaccination. Because of that, we have not suffered as compared to other countries in the world. And many countries have economically also suffered, including China, including USA, paid so much money to their citizens. The GDP is badly affected, but they are very rich country, acquire resources and that, and as well the population is less. So if we have done the same way as they have done, India would have been gone forever. 47.8 crores accounts are open because of that whole inclusive banking channel has been established. Very few क्या बोलते हैं सेट और सराफी और some transaction जो बोलते हैं जो क्या बोलते हैं money lenders have been reduced. Insurance cover for so many people. Case transfer is this much. This is called Amrut Sarkar. Now I'm going into the visionary statement of them. What are the way they want to work on? Economic development of women is the first priority because women inclusion would be the main priority. If China has developed to this stage, this is because of their women empowerment there. Women are there. If you look at 26 January, the uh, uh, the the parade, they have taken care of. They have taken cognizance of woman. Woman has also IPL is also played. There are so many things where woman is empowered. PM Vishwakarma Kaushal Sanman for such a traditional artisan and craftsmen are not being taken into this thing. They are belong to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBC and women. They have been taken. Tourism is going to be a tourist development is very easy, very focused, very remunerative, and a lot of people are included in this. For that, like so many persons, so many individuals today go abroad just to move. उनको बोला इंडिया भी देखो काफी चीज you left in India which is yet to be seen, including if you go to Himachal Pradesh, you go to Ladakh, you go to Srinagar, you go to Kerala, and you go to Orissa, name the place. India is, you cannot, you need not go abroad to see something. 99% things are available in that. Even some of the places you see, there is a in Arunachal Pradesh, there is a there is a snowfall is also happening. You can go and visit India. Don't go abroad. You don't need to go abroad because why you are going abroad? To show to your friends and colleagues that I have gone there. To put it in FB. There is no other purpose. The priority is sevenfold. This is budget, inclusive budget, reaching in last line, infrastructure and development, unleashing potential, green growth. Green growth, our target is 2070, we are zero green project. And we are very much possibly ahead than some of the developed country because they have already have some project which they have to unleash and do it. In India, there is a lot of development pending. So the project which are coming would be a green growth project. So India is a possibly far ahead than other in green project. Youth power, youth is the financial sector. The government for Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vikas, they are doing their best. But there is a huge population. It is not always possible to see that what is done, what is not done, but we can see what is done also. And what how we can contribute is the first priority which I will look at it like this. Inclusive development, they are doing their best. Northeast, Kashmir, Ladakh, Jammu Kashmir, Northeast, they have made a special effort to make it on there. I had been to Kashmir, I had been to Guwahati, I had been to Dibrugarh. And if you see the development, I've been to even Lucknow and क्या बोलते हैं, Nagpur. They're growing very fast. So one of the person from when I visited Nagpur, he said he could come with a 400-kilometer distance from Nagpur within around 3 hours. The road which is development, Nagpur is their metro station in Delhi. Now metro is also developing uh, Mumbai to just such an extent that it is going to cover. So India is growing. The budget is also on the same line. So if you look at Japan and China, they were whole country is covered with the mash of a bullet train. So anyone want to go anywhere, they can use the bullet train. So India is likely to have a very fast growth in that sector also. Agriculture sector, emergency health sector, Atmanirbhar horticulture clean plant program, 2,200 crore been allotted for horticulture. We are exporting a lot of horticulture product. Millets, millet called Sri Anna. Millets is a product which is easy for Indian farmer to produce it and send it for export. And many people in India also are using millets. इसका नाम jowar bajri पहले first previously it was considered it was for garib people only. Now it has been used by even rich people as a part of their health consciousness. It's been very famous now. So there is a millet research organization being kept at Hyderabad, and even marketing is done. And government has allotted. This is agriculture sector. They are very much focused on agriculture. 20 lakh crore is allotted for agriculture credit, and this is available to all the farmers. Especially, there is a huge budget for that. And because of that, they don't need to borrow from anyone else, but the government is producing. and that would contribute to the economy of a country. This is a huge step. 6,000 crore for um, fishery. What they need to do in fishery? They create a fund. Fish farming is done, and it's very easy to sell the product. And the fish pond is developed in the area in which fish are being consumed. They are exported also. It's even labor intensive also. Cooperative sector, some of the cooperative sector is not computerized. 2,516 crores have been allocated. I'm not going to cover, I'm going to cover major part of it where there is a huge nursing colleges. The 157 medical colleges are there. Today, and if you go to any medical professional, they would say that they are not getting qualified nurse. They are not getting qualified technician. Government has made a special task force to create the 157 medical colleges are established to have the nursing staff. My mission skill anemia, I'm not going into that. Medical research has been done, pharma innovation, new program to promote. Mm. Dedicated multidisciplinary courses for medical devices. There are medical devices which are very unique one. So there would be a special training for medical devices to be used. This is very important. And in our India, our teachers are not trained or they are not groomed properly. If they are groomed properly, the students are also groomed properly. So teachers training program is being meant. There will be a district institute of education training and develop vibrant institute excellence for this purpose. National digital diary. Now the people are not reading books. It would be done through this thing. Reaching last Prime Minister of Government Ministry of Trust Affairs. This I'm not going into that, but majorly I'm covering Eklavya Model Research Institute. 38,800 teachers. 740 medical model residential school, 3.5 lakh students need to be organized. This tribal community would come into the mainstream. This is water drought for Karnataka. This is a political issue. PM Modi Sahab knows that in India there are so much residential accommodation crisis for low housing scheme. They have made 60% enhance the contribution to 79,000 crore. 66% increase in budget, huge budget, huge requirement in urban area for staying. So government knows where India needs a fund. Bharat Sarad Repository Scheme. I'm not going to support poor prisoners. I'm not going to infrastructure investment. There is a huge infrastructure going on investment, which is now being picked up. So our economy is going to grow at 6%. They are assuming that it will grow for another 10 years. In this economic survey, they have given so much detailed data and how they will work, at what rate, how would be inflation, what would be the barrel rate, and what would be an impact. They before coming to a survey, what are the unknown risks? What are the unknown risks? These are all taken into consideration in economic survey. They have given in so detail that it becomes a document on its own, and it becomes if anyone wants to have an economy in mind, go to the economic survey these things. Capital is a driver for economic job. Capital investment outlay is being increased steeply for the third year in a row, 33% to 10 lakh crore. Capital investment is increased. This is equal to 3.3% of GDP. This is almost 3 times the outlay in 1922, this thing. So within this thing, the capital investment, the more the capital investment is there, the more employment would be there, the asset would be coming into use. And this is a huge investment. This substantial increase in recent is central to the government effort to enhance the growth potential in job creation, uh, crowd in private investment, and provide a cushion against global headwinds. Effective capital expenditure. The direct capital investment by the center is complemented by the provision made in the creation of capital grant in ad. State the effective capital expenditure. The center is budgeted with 13.7 crore. 10 lakh here as a capital investment, 13.7 4.5% of GDP. You look at how greatly the investment is made. I have this support to state government for capital investment. I have decided to continue 50-year interest-free loan to state government for 1 or more year to spur the investment in infrastructure and to incentivize them to complementary policy action, which is significantly enhance capital of 1.3 lakh crore. Harmonized master list project, railway. Railway's capital outlay is beyond anyone's imagination 5 years back. It is 2.4 lakh crore, which is 9 times 13, 14. 13, matlab in within 9 years, it has increased 9 times. This is the how. There would be Vande Mataram. There is a special goods train corridor project. There are many projects which is going to come, and railway is going to be lifeline of India. There would be more. What is the target of the government? Want to reduce the transportation costs to the industry is around 14%. They want to make it reduce to 8% to make the Indian industry competitive as compared to world. Logistic expenditure on what critical infrastructure project for last line, first mile connectivity in ports, coal, steel, fertilizer, food grain sector have been identified. They will be taken up 100 critical projects which will be monitored from PMO office, and PM himself would see any of the project at random so that every 100 project are ready, because PM can't see each project, but he would select one and go in detail about that, so that all the 100 projects are going, whatever critical are stuck at PM office directly handled to even state government or whatever may be. This they will be taken a priority business 75,000, including 50,000 for 75,000 crore project. Want to see that it is being implemented very fast. Regional connectivity. There would be, matlab, every regional connectivity would be helping to connect to the nation. Sustainable cities of tomorrow. Cities are encouraged to go live. Municipal cities are ready for this urban infrastructure project. 10,000 crore is made available for this purpose per annum. Urbanization, urban sanitization. I'm not going to unleashing good governance. You see where how investment are done. You see the whole country is making different. AI. I tell you, in AI, I have written an article on AI, where in China, few of the listed company out of 100 are multi-billionaire company, are only AI company. Out of that, the person who are below 30 are so many. AI is going to be the country. AI is the AI is qualified men is required. Qualified data is required. When data is required, data needs to be tagged and it has to be used. Then AI is the number one company. AI is going to be the day to come. KYC process they are planning to simplify, one-stop solution for identity. MSME, I said, Vivad Se Vikas, there are two schemes which are going to there. So there would be MSME, those who are stuck in this thing would be unleashed. E-court. Today in e-court, in any court, you have to go, plaintiff has to go there, defendant has to go there, lawyer has to go there. And because of that, lot of this thing is that if e-court is there, there would be a lot of saving in terms of time and money. And it requires 7,000 crore is going to be there. Fintech services, 5G. Once the 5G comes into picture, the way of the business is going to change. Today, what is the advantage? India is among the few countries are ahead in 5G. What are the disadvantage? It is not being used by many countries. Even it is not reached to many cities, many states, many villages. Once it is there, the 5G's use would be more effective. 5G is like a gem of it. It would change the whole the way we are doing a business. Energy transition. This budget 35,000 per capital invested towards the energy transition. Energy storage project. I'm not going into detail. Whatever I have detailed is want to show that where and how the country is growing, how the economy is going to grow there, how you can use the uh, your way of doing the business. The renewable energy, 13 GB, I'm not going to discuss this. Well, if Indore, if you take an example of Indore, Indore is a very clean city. All the garbages are collected and all the garbages are made into a profitable business. The waste to wealth. If you look at the Indore as an example, find a new waste to wealth plant under galvanizing organic bioagro research done. The scheme will establish for promising circular economy. This will be include 200 compressed biogas plant, including 75 plants in urban, 300 community. Once anybody wants it totally invested at 10,000 crore. I will refer in part B, 5% of it. So if somebody is doing at a national level, somebody at the village level can do without even any support of government. They can make money out of this, collect the waste, do this and have a money. Over next 3 years, we will facilitate 1 crore farmer to adopt natural farming. For these 10,000 bio input resources are there. What they're saying, 1 crore farmer would be using in next 3 years the facility of not using any fertilizer, only biofertilizer. This would make the things quite different. What they're saying is true, possible, and implementable. I am not going to Misty, I am not going to Amrit, Darosar, coastal shipping. If we have a very vast coastal facility, okay, I give you an example of Mundra project. Mundra project is plotted in a place where there is this salt land was available. The 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 pot the person who made a mudra pot has filled a plot which is expensive than the buying of a land, and then they filled up and this project is possible. If somebody start doing and creating the coastal route, say in Gujarat, Rajkot to some places which is a near place. If they started initially, they have to make the investment, but over a period of time, even transport, car, and all this can be moved from one place to another place, which is called coastal shipping, which is feasible. Vehicle needs to be replaced because the India need to go green. The government has decided to have government, including vehicle and even ambulance, who needs to be removed. Youth power, I'm not going skill development. Skill development, India is far, far lagging as compared to other countries. Skill development, if you invest, there are persons required in the industry, but we don't have a skilled manpower to work on this. 47 lakh national apprentices is going to be come in with tourism. Government plans to have 50 destination, which would be innovative ideas. There would be virtual connectivity, physical connectivity, virtual connectivity, tourist guides, high standard. These are once the tourist destination, you see the unity of statue, you see the Somnath, you see the Kutch Ran. They are developed in Ahmedabad. There are many places which can be developed. Only thing you required some security, some infrastructure, railroad, airport, and then rest would be done by the people, because when tourists come, the industry would develop. There would be, and it is like manpower and labor intensive, so there would be, it's possible. And India is so rich. देखो अपना देश. Why you go abroad? To see the people that you are going to same thing, same cheese, everything is available in India. Why you need to Unity Mall? I'm not going to say. Credit guarantee scheme is developed for MSME. MSME needs to develop the guarantee, which is around, for that government has allocated 9,000 crore, which would allow a collateral free guarantee of 2 lakh crore, which would reduce the cost by 1%, which is possible. National Financial Information Financial Secretary, Gift City and IFSC City, they want to organize at one place. Because of that, it will develop very fast. I think I have covered so many things in so many periods. uh, Digital payment, 76% of transaction is and 91% of value. Digital continue to be find a value wide acceptance in 2022. Fiscal support would be continues to be done for digital public infrastructure. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. We don't go into that. Because of that, what they're going to do? A woman or girl who want to put a 2 lakh rupees deposit, she will be entitled to put deposit up to 31st March 25. She can put it for 2 years, and rate of interest is 7.5%. Senior citizen who were putting money up to rupees 15 lakh, the limit is increased to 30 lakhs. They were putting in money monthly income scheme up to 4.5 lakh to 9 lakh. For individual jointly with somebody, 9 lakh to 15 lakh. So these are the three investment option has been increased uh, for the person who are not able to judge how to make investment. Interest free loan for fiscal management. I'm not going to fiscal deficit will be allowed to 3.5% of GSDP. Among them, 0.5% will be used with power sector reforms. If you look at the revised estimate, today revised estimate, I'm not going to the figure. Today revised estimate is 6.4% of GDP, and in 23-24, the 5.9% of GDP is the fiscal deficit, and 25-26 government has made a target that fiscal deficit would be around 4.5%. They're going according to target. The fiscal deficit is also under control. With this, I'm not going into any indirect proposal. But one thing is one shading for diamond have been exempted from tax. Certain duties are reduced, and cigarettes are increased after a period of 3 years. Mobile, which is being manufactured, not manufactured, now it is being hugely manufactured. They have decided to reduce certain duties on this thing. Marine products, lab grown, precious metals. I'm not going into that. The inflation is under control, which is going to be as compared to all over India. With this, I conclude here, and I'm going to take next lecture. We have a next lecture on 7th by Hiren Pathak on GST. On 8th, I'm going to talk on income tax section by section in detail for CA, and they can use it for this. With this, I'm concluding the session. Thank you very much.